Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to Wrigley Field here in Chicago, Illinois, home of the Chicago Cubs as they play host here on opening day 2016 to our Milwaukee Brewers, this NL Central matchup. The Brewers looking to rebound from a season where they just did not make the playoffs because they had a very bad season, but they did ship off a lot of veteran talent at the trade deadline, and now they have a lot of young talent on the team. So this Brewers team is on the upswing, that is for sure. Let's take a look at the Brewers starting lineup for opening day. Third baseman Cesar Hernandez, followed by catching Jonathan Lucroy. First baseman Scott Van Slyke. Cleanup is Chris Davis in left. Center field Jake Marisnick. Right field Domingo Santana. Second base Scooter Gennett. Shortstop Gene Segura. And then of course rounded out by the pitcher spot. And on the mound, opposing that lineup will be the left-hander Jon Lester, 32 years old, making one of his countless opening day starts. 32 years old, 6'4", 240, getting the nod here on opening day. Cesar Hernandez digs into the box now. He at 269 with 8 bombs and 44 RBI with 26 stolen base last year. Here comes the 1-0 from Lester. As Hernandez grounds this one down to third baseline, backhanded by Bryan. He'll fire that one across the diamond as it's the backhand scoop from Rizzo. And that's one down here in this top of the first inning. As here comes Jonathan Lucroy, hit 294 last year, 23 bombs, 80 ribbies in the 2-hole today against the left-hander. Here comes the full count pitch from Lester. Swung on and ripped to left field. Back goes Schwarber as he only has to take a few steps to his left as he retires Lucroy for the second out of the top half of the first. And here's the 3-hitter in Scott Van Slyke. Only played about 50 games last year and hit 14 home runs and at 264. First pitch to him. Swung on, grounded into the hole, fielded by Russell. Fires across the diamond, caught by Rizzo, and that is out on the play. 1-2-3 inning for Jon Lester to start off his 2016 as we're still tied up at nothing. Welcome back to the bottom half of the first inning here as the Cubs lineup for today is second base, Tommy La Stella leading things off. Center fielder, Austin Jackson. First base, Anthony Rizzo. Third base, Chris Bryant. Cleanup, left fielder Kyle Schwarber. Catcher, Miguel Montero. Right field, Jorge Soler. Shortstop, Addison Russell, and then rounding things out is the pitcher. On the mound for the Brewers is Taylor Youngman, the young 26-year-old making his first opening day start of what the Brewers hope is many opening day starts to come. 6'6", 220 on the mound. He gets the nod. And the New Jersey native Tommy La Stella digs into the batter's box now to lead off this bottom half of the first inning for the Chicago Cubs team. Youngman with a 1-1 count, kicks, fires. That's swung on, grounded by La Stella, fielded by Van Slyke as he beats La Stella to the bag, and that's one down here in this bottom half of the first inning. So Austin Jackson now digs into the batter's box, their center fielder. 2-2 count on him. The pitch from Youngman. That's popped up and fouled back behind the plate. Lucroy gives it a chase, and he's camped under it as he'll retire Jackson for out number 2 of this bottom half of the first inning. 3-2 count now on Anthony Rizzo. Here comes the pitch. Swing through the changeup, got him to go down swinging, and that's another 1-2-3 inning here for the Brewers. And at the end of one, we've got back-to-back 1-2-3 innings by Lester and Youngman, and we're all tied up at nothing. Welcome back to the top half of the fourth inning here for the Brewers and Cubs. Jonathan Lucroy digs in the batter's box with a 1-2 count. The pitch from Lester is delivered, and that's swung on by Lucroy, taken to the left field line. It's back, and it's foul. It would have been gone if it was fair, but it just barely foul. So 2-2 now on Lucroy. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and raked out into center field. Got it off the end of the bat, but he gets a single on it nonetheless. So Jonathan Lucroy has himself on base here to lead off this inning. The top of the fourth, that is. So he's on first. That brings up Scott Van Slyke, who's 0 for 1 on the day so far with a ground out back in the first. 1-2 count on him. Here comes the pitch. Lefty on righty. That's going to be chopped a few feet in front of Montero. He'll field, whip that one over to first, and it gets into right field. Van Slyke's rounding first, heading to second. And Lucroy gets into third, so the Brewers now have second and third with nobody out. After the error on the throw from Montero on that little dribbler from Van Slyke, is now Chris Davis digs into the box. The cleanup hitter against left-handers. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on, down the left field line. Diving stop by Bryant. He'll whip that one across the diamond, but Chris Davis beats it out as a run comes in to score as well, and it's a Brewers take a 1-0 lead here in this game on the RBI single from Chris Davis. Here comes the pitch to Marisnik. That's swung on and popped up opposite way as Solaire's camped under right at the foul line. The throw to the plate. Here comes the cutoff throw as he's dead meat at the plate. Van Slyke stood no chance there. Now only Davis is on first with 2 outs for Domingo Santana at the plate. 0-1 count on him. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be swung on and popped up into left center field. On the chase is Schwarber as he retires Santana for the final out of the inning. So at the end of the top half of 4, the Brewers strike for 1 with 3 hits, and they have a 1-0 lead. Welcome back to the top half of the 5th inning here with 1 out as Gene Segura digs into the batter's box. He's got a 3-1 count on him as here comes the pitch from Lester. That's going to be chopped down the first baseline. Segura hustling down that line. He's busting his tail. That throw goes into right field. The second error from Montero on the day. Segura rounding second, heading to third. Here comes the throw to third base as Segura's in there on the throw on the error from Montero, his second throwing error of the day. So the speedy Segura's on third, and here's the pitcher, Taylor Youngman, with 1 out. Righty pitcher against lefty pitcher. As Youngman pops this one up opposite way, gets it deep enough in right field. Should be enough to tag up Segura. He tags and he scores as the throw is late. Gene Segura tags up, and it's now a 2-0 Brewers lead on the sac fly RBI from Taylor Youngman. 2 outs now in the inning for Cesar Hernandez, the third baseman. Pitch to him is swung on and grounded to third, fielded by Brian. He'll toss the one across the infield, and that's out number 3, but not before the Brewers strike for 1. As it's now a 2-0 Brewers lead, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Cubs at the end of the top half of 5. Welcome back to the bottom half of the 7th inning as Tommy La Stella digs into the batter's box. 2-2 count on him for Youngman. Kicks and fires. As that's going to get him looking on the strike 3 call. He goes down back to the dugout in that walk of shame, so now 1 down as Austin Jackson digs in. Delivers the 0-1 Youngman, popped up into shallow territory. Van Slyke gives chase. He's right at the tarp over on the first base foul territory as he puts that one away. And that's 2 down now in this bottom half of the 7th inning. So 2 down as Anthony Rizzo digs in. He's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. As Youngman gets Rizzo to go down for the 3rd time on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Rizzo, ring him up, as it's still 2-0 Brewers here at the end of 7th. Welcome back to the bottom half of the 9th inning as Jimmy Rollins will dig into the batter's box as he comes in as a pinch hitter. And he'll be facing the Brewers closer in Corey Knebel, correction. The young closer took over for Francisco Rodriguez. The pitch, the 0-2. Check swing, he went around. As Jimmy Rollins goes down swinging, the pinch hitter can't get it done. And now Tommy La Stella digs in, back to the top half of the order. 0-2 count as Knebel sets at the belt, at the chest, delivers. As it's going to be smacked down to left field, but Chris Davis gives chase and he puts that one away for the 2nd out of the inning. So now 2 down as the always dangerous Anthony Rizzo digs in. Correction, this is Austin Jackson with an 0-3 count. With an 0-3 on the day, correction, 3-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Knebel. That's going to be ball 4. He tried the risky curveball there, but he ends up walking him. And now the always dangerous Rizzo will come to the plate with a runner on first and a chance to tie this ball game. Here comes the pitch. That's strikeout number 4 on the day for Rizzo. He's 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts, and that is your ball game. That is how the cookie crumbles as the Milwaukee Brewers pick up a W on opening day over their NL Central rivals of the Chicago Cubs in Wrigley Field in the Windy City. Big time game here on opening day from Taylor Youngman. Went 7 strong, only gave up 1 hit and 10 strikeouts, while the Brewers as a total only gave up 3 hits. Brewers only got 6 hits, but there was enough to get them 2 scores on the board to come away with the victory in this pitching duel. As Gene Segura went 2 for 3 with a run, Jake Marisnick 1 for 4 with a hit as well. Chris Davis 2 for 4 with an RBI. Jonathan Lucroy 2 for 4 with a run. 1 for 4 with a run correction, as Taylor Youngman improves to 1-0 in the season as he gets his win on opening day. Knievel picks up his first save. John Lester drops to 0-1, and the Cubs drop to 0-1. So with that being said, we'll wrap things up here for this edition of Milwaukee Brewers Baseball. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Something inside you is feeling like I do. You said all there is to say.